What's up, guys? It is halftime in the Duke game, so I thought, let's pass the halftime by doing a video. This is a Q&A. Q&A number 12 or 13 or 11 or I think I think it's Q&A 12. But I'm getting them mixed up. So we're going to go ahead and say it's 12. I'll look up what it really is afterwards and title it as such. First question comes from me and is, will Duke get their heads out of their asses and not lose to North Carolina State? Hopefully. All right, let's get into the real stuff. GLIAZZURRI 19. Glazzer 19. Cool name. Do you see us getting a Punk Bryan feud in the summer? If so, who do you think will still have their title and who will get drafted to have the feud? Sure, a lot of people on the internet would love to see this feud. Their match on Raw was good, so maybe that was them just giving people what they wanted for a little bit to make everyone just shut up, or maybe it was planting the seeds of something more. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. The hell? I don't know. I can't personally see it happening. It'd be cool. I wouldn't have a problem with it. So I'll just go with the rest of the question based on if they are. Who do you think will still have their title and who will get drafted out of the feud? I can't see Daniel Bryan going to Raw. I just can't. He's not over enough at this point. I mean, they pump in reaction for him on SmackDown, and then when he's on Raw, it's really. And if you mean when he came out during the Royal Rumble, it was nothing at all. So it's like I don't think he's over enough to go to Raw. So if it had to happen, I could see CM Punk maybe going back to SmackDown, where he kind of started his rise before he got drafted over and did all the Nexus stuff in the promo, the shoot. But so if it was someone, I could see Punk going to SmackDown maybe to get some star power over there. Since Raw, has the Cenas and Del Rios and Miz's, even though he's doing whatever, and Jericho, if he's gonna stay around for a while. But so if someone had to leave, I think it would be Punk, and obviously that would have to mean Daniel Bryan still had his title because I don't think CM Punk's gonna take the title to SmackDown. So I don't know. It'd be a good idea. I wouldn't have a problem with it, but whatever. Absman the Gamer. Do you like Hulk Hogan? I mean, I'm only 20 years old, so what I saw of Hulk Hogan was like, or what I remember the most is like the WWE type stuff, like the WWE, NWO, Rock vs. Hogan, all that kind of stuff. But I really don't have a problem with Hogan. A lot of people bag on him. Oh, he's such a, backstage pop. Like, but who isn't a backstage guy? I mean, whether you guys want to admit it or not, Hulk Hogan is the reason most people got into wrestling and is basically what got wrestling to where it is, if you know what I'm saying. Like, he was well, maybe not the first, but the big name that got everyone like, oh man, Hulkamania. Oh, I want to watch that. That stuff looks crazy. You know what I mean? So, a lot of people just act like they hate Hulk Hogan, but it's like, I don't have a problem with it at all. He's not like top 5 wrestlers or anything, but I don't have a problem with him. I think he's a cool guy. Nothing wrong with that at all. Metal Machine 80. What up? Do you think that if things had gone differently and Scott Hall stayed in wrestling and all was well, that by now we'd talking about Scott Hall as one of the greatest champions of an era? In other words, would he have had a title reign and would have been a quality one? I don't think so. I think he was good where he was. I mean, when he came in, he had the match with Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, and then he went away to WCW or whatever, and then he came back to NWO with Hogan and Nash, and they did their thing. He had the match with Austin at WrestleMania where he lost. I mean, I like the guy. I mean, and I hope his personal life, I don't know if it's too late for that, but hopefully that all gets worked out. But as far as Scott Hall goes, I mean, I liked him, but I guess he maybe could have been at some point, but it was almost like if he hadn't, as long as he was in the business, if he wasn't, I'm just referring, I'm guessing you're talking about WWE Championship. It just says one of the greatest champions of an era. So, I mean, I don't think he was going to overshadow guys like Austin Rock, Hogan, the guys in his own group. But for where he was, I didn't have a problem with it. But I don't know. Greatest champion of an era, that's kind of going a little farther. Could I have seen him as a champion at some point? Yes. Greatest of an era might be a little too far, but that's just my opinion. And same person. Do you give the same amount of credit to a superstar that has achieved fame through being a cheating and controversial heel as you do a superstar who has earned their fame cleanly and legitimately? Example: God. You wrote Triple H, but you misspelled God. God has a lot of belts and titles and historic wins, but most of them were tied to cheating of some kind. So does he deserve as much credit as someone who's done about the same stuff, but cleanly? No. God deserves no credit. He only gets the titles because he married that girl, Stephanie McMahon, and got. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Triple H now is really annoying. But back in the day when I was growing up, like in the Attitude Era in the 90s, when I started watching, I was a young fella. I like Triple H. I mean, DX. I don't know a lot of people that didn't like DX, but I like there's Triple H and then there's God. I liked Triple H. Triple H was the guy, cool guy. He was a star. A lot of people try to hate on him, but he was a star. And I think he would have still been a star had he not married into the McMahon family. Would he have been a big of a star? Probably not. Let's be realistic. But to deny that Triple H is a star is crazy to me. But you can have your opinion about him all you want. That's what I'm saying. There's Triple H and there's God. Once he turned into God and he was calling all the shots. And he just Triple H, God. Sorry, that's funny. It just came out, but he is God. Just if you want him in a nutshell, I'm pretty sure. Just think back to the summer with the whole CM Punk thing. When him and Triple H started that feud, I think we all had hope. Like, okay, Triple H, God, is gonna help out CM Punk. Oh, were we wrong? As we saw at Night of Champions in their match. But think about this. Raise your hand or comment below if you think that maybe, just maybe, during the whole bargaining, backstage politics about their match at Night of Champions, Triple H said something along the lines of, "Oh yeah, let me get this win here, and then later down the line, I'll put you over." So he wins Night of Champions. CM Punk gets his. He was so hot. He was skyrocket during the summer, and then Triple H said, "No one's getting over." And now CM Punk, I mean, he's still big. I mean, he's still one of the top guys, but nowhere close to what he like the reactions he was getting back then. Thank you, Triple H. Maybe he's still planning to put him over eventually. But yeah, it's just stupid stuff like that, and that's just a recent one. I mean, the list goes on and on, but God, that had nothing to do with your question. I just got pissed about Triple H. God, but I didn't even realize that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, basically, you always have the heels. That's their job, is to be like that. So, I mean, you got to give them credit for what they're supposed to do. And the face is the guy that, I think of JBL. JBL did his thing. Everyone hated him. And then, John Cena comes. And then, you know what I mean? So, as much credit, I don't know. I mean, in the storyline, I guess it makes sense what you're trying to say. Like, guys getting big always by cheating. But, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Do it well. That's what I always say. At least that's what I'm saying right now. So, I mean, I guess it really depends on the guy, but God, mentioned Triple H in a question. Dang it. Non-legit wrestling. I think it's pretty legit to me. Did you like when WrestleMania themes were rock songs, or do you like the current popular hip hop themes better? Good question. I've liked I like the last three WrestleManias pretty well. I mean, 26, you had "We Made It" by Kevin Rudolph, that white guy, awesome. Like that song a lot. I thought it fit what was going on and with the whole WrestleMania feel. WrestleMania 27, "Written in the Stars." Huge fan of that. Big fan of that. And this year, the whole "Invincible" before John Cena said you want to use it now, it's "Turn Me On" or something. I loved. Let's all think back to WrestleMania. Rock Austin, Limp Bizkit, "My Way." That was up here. As a young child, I would play with the action figures and reenact that entire promo. By God. So yeah, but I like rap music a lot, so might be a little biased, but I like the way it is now. Would I mind if there was? Every almost every like pay per view in between WrestleMania is rock, except for like Survivor Series was maybe it's just the big four because Survivor Series was Flow Rida, not Wild Ones, unfortunately, but good feeling. SummerSlam was CeeLo Green, and the Rumble was a rock song, but mostly there were rock songs in between. So it's just really what fits the show the best. But I'm cool with I liked it back then, but I'm fine with the rap songs now. And same person, would you want Undertaker's streak to continue or for someone to end it? Okay, here's the thing. This year it looks like we're getting Undertaker Triple H. We all know I'm going to be there live. That's old news. If Triple H wins, oh my god. If Triple H beat 19 and 0, I would be pissed at Undertaker too, because when it's Undertaker. When you're 19 and 0, it's not like you have no say in your matches. You know what I'm saying? So if he, after all of this, 19 and 0, all the matches, all the build up to this thing that's like is WrestleMania pretty much. If he decides to let Triple H end it, why? No. So no, I don't want it to end, at least this year, because come on. Oh. The thing is, if it was going to end, I personally don't want it to end because I think it's cool. That's just it's the Undertaker. He's my boy, not Triple H. God, I hate him. But basically, what I'm saying is, if it had to end, I'm not saying it has to. I'm not saying I want it to. But if it was, you would have to be a guy that was built up like a young. I would prefer to be a younger guy. Because Triple H, what's Triple H? God, sorry, I can't get on a Triple H tangent. You want a younger guy or Randy Orton? Just kidding. But no, what I'm saying is you'd have to build up a younger guy enough to where it was not even believable. Because really, who anymore is believable to beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania? It would have to be a young guy built up enough to where that would just skyrocket him. Like, what's bigger than beating the Undertaker at WrestleMania for some young guy? Like Barrett before he kind of cooled down. That's the closest I can see. I mean, that would have been incredible. But so it really just depends on the guy. I'm not even gonna say his name anymore, but not him. So I don't really want it to end. I just think it's cool, but maybe at WrestleMania 29 in New Jersey, Cena. Not a popular thing, I'm sure, but he's the top guy. That's the only guy that's really believable now. Like realistically, that's not like an old guy. Just saying. We're at 14 minutes. We still have more questions. Screw it. All right. Heel Wolverine. The pay-per-views have been set out of. They have been. You're right. Out of all of them, which pay-per-view would you add, change the name, or keep? Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania, Extreme Rules Over Limit, Fatal 4-Way, TLC, SummerSlam, Night of Champions, Hell in a Cell, Survivor Series, Vengeance. Well, what would I add would be Money in the Bank because they took it away, but Obviously, that's looking like that's going to be at WrestleMania. So if it's at WrestleMania, which I can't see them getting rid of that gimmick because it's a really cool thing. But hypothetically, if they weren't having it at WrestleMania, that would definitely be the one I would want back. Change name. Let's see. They got rid of capital punishment, so that's the easy one that's gone. Rumble's good, obviously. Chamber. Let's change WrestleMania. Extreme Rules I like. Over the Limit so far is the closest. Fatal 4-Way, I'm cool with that. That sounds pretty just, frightful. TLC, SummerSlam Night of Champions, Hell in a Cell Vengeance. I would probably, if I had to change one, I'd change Over the Limit, I guess. Just because that's, out of all of them, if I had to choose one, it'd be that. And I would change it to be called WrestleMania. I would call it WrestleMania just got over. Extreme Rules. We just got all the craziness out. So there's some dumbass pay per view while we wait for Fatal 4-Way. That's what I'd call it. Yeah, and keep all of them except for that because why not? Francis W22, cool ass dude. How's it going? Since you drew Mick Foley in the Rumble, I was wondering which was your favorite gimmick / character he had. Was it Mankind, Dude Love, Cactus Jack, or good old regular Mick? And in what order? When it comes to Mick Foley, he's a man of many faces, and all these faces are incredible. You got the hardcore legend, you got Dude Love, who's just dope. Mankind, who was the character I grew up with his feuds with Taker and Rock and stuff. And regular old Mick Foley, nothing wrong with him. My favorite. My favorite would come down to probably Mankind or Cactus Jack because Cactus Jack's had just some wild matches. And Mick Foley actually tweeted me when I got Randy Orton's DVD, and I was tweeting about the Mick Foley, what's it called? Mick Foley Randy Orton match. I'm just name dropping right now, and he told me that was that was his all-time favorite match. So shout out to Mick Foley. You're my guy I'm rooting for this year. So come back and do some matches. And that, if I recall, that was just his regular Mick Foley. So but let's go with. Oh, I grew up with Mankind, so let's just go with that. I mean, he had awesome matches with The Rock at Royal Rumble and obviously the Taker match. So let me go Mankind, Cactus Jack. God damn it! Oh, Mankind, Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, and then Dude Love. Dude Love, but really, none is better than the other. We all are winners for getting to see all these gimmicks. So yeah, we'll cut this one off at 18 minutes. Like this video, subscribe up above, continue to ask questions because I did most of them. I don't have all of them written in here, but there's only a few left. Not enough to make a video probably. But continue to ask questions. Like I said, like, subscribe. Watch our Elimination Chamber preview predictions. Watch Jake talk about FCW while I stand in the background and just draw crap on a whiteboard in our school. Take care, Buck a Bear. Still from Colt Cabana. But I'll talk to you later. AskQuestions.com. Wink.